There is a place on the Earth where the air itself turns to glass, where each breath is a sharp, crystalline shock, and the simple act of exposure is a calculated risk. This is the Siberian deep winter, a world locked in a deep and silent freeze. The temperature hangs at 71 degrees below 0 Celsius, a number that is less a measurement and more a statement of intent from the land itself. It is a cold that does not merely chill. It reshapes. It solidifies lakes into continents of sheer, blinding white, and it reduces the vast, sprawling taiga to a forest of frozen ghosts. On the surface of one such lake, a figure moves, a solitary dark shape against an infinite canvas of white. This is Alexei, a man whose family has known this cold for generations. He is not here to conquer the land, for that is an impossibility. He is here to negotiate with it. His mission is a simple, ancient one, to fish. But here, at 71 below, nothing is simple. This will not be a trip of hours, but of days. A 72-hour vigil in the world's deepest freezer. The sun, a weak and distant smudge of light low on the horizon, offers no warmth. It casts long, deep blue shadows that stretch like fissures across the ice. Every surface is covered in a fur of frost, a glittering layer of diamonds that form not from water, but from the very moisture frozen out of the air. The only sounds are the wind, a constant, whispering presence, and the rhythmic crunch of Alexei's boots, the heartbeat of this frozen world. Alexei's first task is to find his...
The tracks lead north. The snow here remembers their passing.
spot. He does not rely on machines or modern charts. His knowledge is older, passed down through the stories of his father and his grandfather. He walks the lake, his eyes reading the subtle contours of the snowdrifts, the way the wind has sculpted the surface. He is looking for a memory, a story written in ice. After nearly an hour of this silent survey, he stops. He stamps his boot once, the sound a hollow thud against the immense silence. This is the place. He unstraps the hand auger from his sled. It is a simple, brutal tool. A large, spiral blade attached to a wooden crossbar. To start a motor here would be folly. The metal would seize. The fuel would turn to gel. Manpower is the only reliable engine. He positions the blade and begins to turn. The effort is immediate and immense. Each rotation is a battle against the 2-meter-thick ice. His breath booms out in great gasping clouds, the vapor instantly freezing and falling around him like a miniature snow shower.
Finally,
the
after
sound
all
of the
this
cutting
searching,
blade is a deep, grinding groan, a protest from the lake. After what feels like an age of labor, a deep blackness appears beneath the blade.
Gasp of warmer,
A shock of
moist
pure
air rising
liquid
from
darkness
the hole.
in all
Rising
this
from
white.
the hole.
He has broken through. A gasp of warmer, moist air escapes from the hole, condensing into a faint, swirling mist. He quickly works to widen the opening, his movements efficient, practiced. He has opened a portal to the world beneath the ice. The fishing lines are thick, hand-lined cords, the hooks baited with tough, frozen scraps. There is no comfortable stool, no heated tent, not yet. The first ritual is one of construction. From his sled, he unpacks the baylock, a small wooden sledge shelter that will be his home for the next 3 days. It is ancient, the wood stained dark by smoke and time. Setting it up is a careful, deliberate dance. His bare fingers, exposed for only minutes at a time, feel the cold as a sharp, burning pain. To touch metal with bare skin now would mean losing a layer of it. A permanent kiss from the frost. Inside the baylock, space is a premium commodity. A small cast iron stove sits in the center, its pipe vented through the roof. His bed is a simple reindeer hide laid on the wooden slats. Everything has its place. Disorder is not merely inconvenient, it is dangerous. He builds a small, careful fire in the stove, feeding it with dry, resinous sticks of pine he brought with him. The flames are a tiny, defiant heartbeat in the immense cold. The interior slowly begins to thaw, but only just. The temperature inside might rise to a merely brutal 20 below. Frost still clings to the inside of the walls, and his breath steams continuously in the faint light. He baits his lines and lowers them into the inky black water. The world beneath the ice is a mystery. Down there, in the perpetual, just above zero darkness, life persists. Arctic char, grayling, pike, ancient cold water fish that have adapted to this world just as Alexei's people have. He feeds the lines out, his hands feeling for any vibration, any sign of life from the abyss. Then he waits. This is the true test. The 72-hour vigil. It is not a continuous action, but a cycle of intense labor.
Here, my love, eat this.
Where did this come from?
It's from your grandfather.
And profound stillness. For hours, he will sit in the silence of the baylock, the lines held loosely in his hands, his entire being focused on the subtle language of the twine. The world outside ceases to exist.
All I have is a
There
piece
is
of
only the
stale bread,
gentle hiss of the
but
stove,
it's enough to keep me
the
going.
wind humming a low note against the wooden walls, and the waiting. His thoughts, in these long silences, are his only company. He thinks of his wife, Anya, back in the village, her face warmed by the glow of their larger stove. He thinks of his son, learning in school about a world that seems as distant and fictional as another planet. He thinks of the reindeer, moving in great herds through the larch forests, and he feels a kinship with them. They are all children of this cold, bound to it in a cycle of life that those in warmer lands could never comprehend. The first day passes in this rhythm. Check the lines, rebait,
Stay
tend
secure.
the fire.
The storm
Wait.
is getting worse.
The cold is a persistent thief, stealing heat through the smallest crack, bleaching it through the soles of his boots. He eats simply, hard frozen bread that he thaws by his chest, and strips of dried reindeer meat that require long, arduous chewing. To drink, he melts ice in a small pot on the stove. Water has never tasted so precious. On the second day, a change arrives. The wind, once a steady whisper, begins to keen. The light outside, already dim, fades into a milky, featureless gray. A storm is coming. This is not a surprise. It is an expected part of the negotiation. The world is reminding him who is in charge. He secures the baylock, weighting it down with blocks of ice he cut earlier. The horizon disappears, swallowed by a swirling, violent whiteness. The world contracts to the few feet around his shelter. The sound is now a roar, a primal force shaking his tiny wooden box. Inside, the temperature drops rapidly as the wind sucks the heat from the walls. He feeds the stove more fuel, but the warmth is stolen almost as soon as it is created. This is no longer about fishing. This is about endurance. He wraps himself tighter in his furs, his face a mask of concentration. The lines lie still. The fish, too, are waiting out the fury of the world above. For 12 hours, the storm rages. It is a test of will, a battle fought not with movement, but with absolute, unyielding stillness. He does not sleep. He simply exists, a single point of warmth holding out against the chaos. And then, as suddenly as it arrived, the storm passes. The roar subsides back into a whisper. When he opens the door, the world has been remade. The landscape is smoother, sharper, scoured clean by the wind. The sky is a deep, painful indigo, and the stars are like frozen pinpricks, impossibly bright and cold. The silence after the storm is deeper, more profound than before. It is the silence of exhaustion. He returns to his lines. His hands are stiff, his body aching from the long tension. He checks the first line. Nothing. The second. A slight tug, a ghost of a movement. He pulls it up slowly, hand over hand. A small silver char emerges from the black water,
Come on.
flashing in the starlight.
Just a little more.
It is a meager reward for such a trial. He feels a flicker of disappointment. quickly suppressed. This is the way of things. The land gives, and the land takes away. He rebaits the line and lowers it back into the darkness. The wait begins again. The cycle continues. The third day dawns, identical to the first in its stark beauty.
Come on, that's it.
But now laden
Almost got
with
it.
the fatigue of the long vigil. The cold feels deeper, having seeped into his bones. Every movement requires a greater effort of will. It is on the afternoon of this final day that it happens. He is dozing lightly, the lines wrapped around his mittened hands, when he feels it. Not a tentative nibble, but a powerful, sustained pull. A jolt, like an electric shock, runs up the line and into his very core. His eyes snap open. This is no small fish. He braces his feet against the wooden frame of the fishing hole and begins to pull. The line is taut, cutting into the ice at the edge of the hole. It thrums with a deep, resonant energy. Whatever is on the other end is fighting with a power that speaks of great size and ancient life. It is a pike. He knows it from the way it fights. Not
I'll need a
with
bigger
frantic
fire for this
dashes,
one.
but with heavy, stubborn surges. This is the critical moment. The line is thick, but the ice at the edge of the hole is sharp as a blade. A wrong move, too much pressure, and the line will fray and snap. All would be lost. It is a battle of patience against raw power. He lets the fish run, giving it line, feeling its strength. He cannot force it. He must coax it, tire it, respect its power even as he works to claim it. The struggle lasts for 20 minutes, each one an eternity of focused tension. His arms burn with the strain. His breath comes in ragged clouds. The world narrows to this single black hole, and the invisible force struggling in the depths beneath. He pulls, gives slack, pulls again. Slowly, grudgingly, the fight begins to ebb from the creature. Finally, he makes his final pull. A great dark shape appears in the water below, stirring up the silt from the lake bottom. With one last grunting heave, he brings the massive pike up through the hole. It lands on the ice with a solid, heavy thud. It is a monster of the deep, over a...
I'm home. Alexei. Hey.
Mikhail!
meter long, its sides a mottled green and gold, its jaw lined with sharp teeth. It lies on the pure white ice, gills flaring, its scales glittering in the weak sunlight. A primal trophy, a gift from the frozen deep. Alexei places a hand on its cold, slick side.
This will feed us for many days.
There is no shout of triumph, no celebration.
We are safe now,
only
my
a
love.
slow, deep exhalation.